You were already working at a startup, right? Earning well, and then you decided to give cat.
So I think overconfidence took a hit on me. I think throughout the process, not just for mocks or for D-Day.
Breakup in October was a turning point. That must have been tough, but it also seems like a fire got lit somewhere. So what changed internally after?
And this was a strategy which kind of helped me get a 99.24 percentile in the ILR and which
That you must attempt 30 plus mocks to get a 99 plus percentile. Hello everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Conversion Diaries, the podcast where we unpack the stories behind the CAT scores and beyond the admit letters. I am Ananya, and today we have got someone whose journey is straight out of a Netflix script, complete with career crossroads, a breakup fueled comeback, and zero Telegram groups. Please welcome Sauhard Choudhary, a maths grad from Delhi, a startup hustler, and now an incoming student at IIM Kozhikode. Welcome, Sauhad. Great to have you here.
well, thank you so much for the amazing introduction, Ananya. And I'm very grateful that I have the opportunity to be here and share my story with my fellow upcoming juniors who would be starting their journey or a part of the ongoing journey for the CAT 2025 prep. And I really hope that they can take any guidance, any help that they can from my story and how I prepared for the three sections, and how of course I prepared for the D-Day.
And I'm super excited to dive into your story, which, by the way, is like equal parts relatable as well as inspiring. So let's rewind a bit. You were already working at a startup, right? Earning well, and then you decided to give cat. So कहानी शुरू होती है यहाँ से. So was it a long-term plan or an impulsive let's try cat moment?
Well, I first took CAT in actually 2021, and in that point, I did not score a very good percentile as I was still in my final year, and I thought that working for some time would actually be a better opportunity for me than to immediately delve into an MBA. And then it kind of got put on a hold because I started enjoying the work that I was doing. I was enjoying the money, like enjoying the money that I was earning, and that kind of derailed my plan to give cat. But then of course you feel a little stagnated sometimes and you want to take a career break to kind of get ahead, and that is where the MBA plan kind of kicked back in. Then of course I gave cat, and thankfully I got a good percentile, and now I'm going to one of the dream colleges that I was targeting when I first started my journey in 2021.
And you earlier mentioned something personal that breakup in October was a turning point. That must have been tough, but it also seems like a fire got lit somewhere. So what changed internally after that?
Well, you wouldn't believe it actually, but I wasn't that serious about preparing for CAT in the first place. Like I had just registered for CAT in August, and I kind of forgot about it. I did not study that actively. I wasn't part of any Telegram groups, like you said, and I would solve questions here and there, but not on a consistent level basis. But then October, like you said, like I mentioned, something changed. Had a breakup with my then girlfriend, and that kind of inspired, like you said, it instigated a fire in me that I just wanted to take a break from all this and delve that energy into something that would be more productive. So I deleted all my social media handles apart from WhatsApp, of course, and just focused on solving as many questions as I could for CAT. And then thankfully, again, at that point also, I wasn't that serious again. It was just, I think, 2 or 3 weeks before the D-Day that I actually became a lot serious and attempted more and more questions.
No, that's great. That's great. It helped probably helped you in some other way, but now that you are joining IMK, I think everything turned out to be really well. So, and you also said before that overconfidence causes downfall. That's brutally honest. So, where do you think this overconfidence hit you the most? Like, was it during prep or the mocks or somewhere else?
So I think overconfidence took a hit on me. I think throughout the process, not just for mocks or for D-Day, because like I said, I'm a maths honors grad, and I kind of hold it with the pride that I'm good, very good at mathematics. So quant was some section that I was extremely confident that I would get a 99 plus percentile in, and that kind of led me to not practice it that much as I would have preferred to do it, and hence that took a quite a big hit on the D day when I just scored around 95 point some percentile.
And in all the chaos of your preparation journey, you mentioned that YouTube became your best friend. Like, so what were you watching during, let's say, your meals, and when you were sitting alone, like, and how did that habit stick with you?
So when you have been working for some time, it kind of gets difficult to get into that flow of sitting and studying and solving questions. And VARC was one of those sections that I wasn't quite good at. And again, like I said, it was just 1 month before the D Day that I started my preparation thoroughly. And at that point, I felt the time was not on my side. And I wanted to grasp as many strategies, as many tips that I could to find shortcuts and just solve these questions on a faster pace. So I turned to YouTube to see how to solve RCs, how to solve VA questions, para jumbles, odd one out, rearranging, all this summary. So at that point, I came across Rodha and a lot of other YouTube channels, and that kind of gave me a strategy on how to attempt these questions. That gave me kind of a hope that I still have time to, if I can use these shortcuts to get to the answer quicker. Because again, like I said, VRC was one of the sections that I quite struggled in. But thankfully, the videos, especially from Rodha, and especially the strategies that they gave, were quite beneficial for me to actually perform on the D-Day.
No, that's really great, and your story already looks like a wow to me, right? From hard way break to hustle, from remote job to remote prep. Actually, like, your story is a proof that you just need intent to succeed, right? So Had, let's move to what made your prep unique, your prep playbook. So you didn't go for mocks that much, right? You didn't do RCs either, and yet you pulled off a 98.67 percentile. ये कैसे किया?
Yeah, I think it's not something that I would advise actually everyone to follow it, because my strategy was a little different. I did not have time to attempt that much of mocks, that much of RC questions. And again, like I said, since the time was not on my side, I kind of gave up on trying to improve my RCs. So I just improved or implemented as my strategy in such a way that it played according to my strengths and not delve into my weaknesses, because I don't have time to improve upon my weaknesses. Again, this is something that I wouldn't personally advise to anyone to follow, but this is something that I did because of the time crunch that I had. And the VARC section was something that was concerning, because if I had the choice to attempt any three questions first, it would have been quant, then DILR, and then finally VARC. But again, VARC being the first section, it kind of had to set the mood or set the tone that the entire paper was going to.
Okay, so just walk me through your section-wise jugaad, like especially DILR that you mentioned it, that you aged it. Were you solving the sets during office hours also?
Well, okay, I'll start with VRC first, because that is the first section that anyone has to attempt. And VRC, my strategy was very simple. It was to attempt two RCs at the maximum and then solve all the VA questions. And if I had like more than 5 minutes left, then only I would tackle another RC. So this was the only strategy which I followed. Again, this is not something that I would personally advise for anyone to copy, but this I felt played to my strengths. Honestly speaking, I actually kind of got sleepy while reading the RC, so that's why I just checked to attempting two RCs. Then apart from that, coming to DILR again, which is one of my favorite sections. And the reason being that I'm someone who enjoys solving puzzles. It's something that I've been doing, like solving Sudoku since I think 2019. I've been solving Sudoku daily. So that was something that I was constantly doing. And in between office hours, again, like I said, I wasn't that into the preparation before October. So here and there, I would solve a question if I like it. But after October, that changed. I actually took a lot of leaves. Thankful to my company for supporting me during that process of approving the leaves. And so I used to solve a lot of sets up leading up to the CAD day. And the most important sets, I think, were the previous year questions. So though, like from 2020 or 2019 onwards, I solved each and every single set to kind of understand which are the set patterns, which type of questions are there, and my strategy was simple. So attempt two sets if there are going to be four sets, and attempt three sets if there are going to be five sets. And this was a strategy which kind of helped me get a 99.24 percentile in DILR, and again, which could have been better if I hadn't done a few silly mistakes in the final set that I was solving. And
I
coming,
guess that pretty much happens with everyone. Of course, you cannot control the silly mistakes at all because the time pressure during the actual exam day, the D day, that's insane, right? That's really difficult from what you actually get during mocks.
yes, yes, that is true. And coming to the pressure part, before I'll speak about that before going into QA. So I think the pressure part is somewhere most of the people or most of the students kind of take a hit on. So during prep, I would just made sure that the all the pressure that I'm going to take is going to be up till the day before the CAT exam. On CAT exam day, I'll wake up at my own pace because luckily my slot was in the second slot. So I'll wake up at my own pace, I'll have my breakfast, I'll get ready at my own pace. I won't take any stress whatsoever. I would have my folder, anything ready with me. I'll just go, have a Red Bull on the way to the exam center, give the CAT exam, and just come back and not think about it till the time the answer key arrives. So this was the strategy which I followed on D-Day because I was very chill. So even if something went wrong, I because I knew something was going to go wrong, so I was just going to stay calm and keep my composure throughout. I wouldn't take any stress that if I don't get this, then this will happen, that will happen. So I think that is where most of the people take a hit on because you think about things which are not in your control. So just chill, take a chill pill, like they say, and just go and give your exam. Just don't think about anything. If anything goes wrong, it will go wrong. You don't have any control in that. And coming to the final section, quant, I personally wouldn't want to comment on it because, again, I was very overconfident. I thought I would easily ace 99 plus percentile in this, and again, a few silly mistakes here and there, and not being able to solve the number of questions which I initially wanted to, kind of took a hit. But again, my preparation strategy was simple: attempt as many questions as I could from the previous year papers, and eliminate the geography questions because I wasn't too confident to solve those.
Okay, and let's talk about those final 30 days, like late starter, fatigue, hitting right before interviews. Like, how did you keep going when burnout was just around the corner?
Well, if you're talking from a cat prep point of view, burnout was not an option for me because it was just 30 days, so I was thoroughly motivated. If I started my prep, let's say somewhere in May or April, then I think the fatigue or burnout would have taken place. It did happen with the GDPI prep because again my interviews were spread around 3 months. So like I had my first interview which was at IIM Lucknow on 24th of January, and I had my last interview which was for IIM Kozhikode on 18th of March. So those were a lot of there were a lot of other interviews lined up in between them. But again, I had a lot of time between each interview. So to read everything again and again, give mock interviews, and with Trump being Trump, keep on adding on the slavers that he was just going on with press conferences. So I think that part a little fatigue took in. But I had my eyes set on a goal that I have to get into one of the Blackie IIMs, and at that point it was just do or die and just ace through it. Luckily, the interviews went well for most of the calls which I had, and and that was the part that I think I'm grateful for.
But like being confident in at least two sections, right? And having have like good interviews as you mentioned, but it of course anxiety comes to your mind, right, while waiting for your results. So did it get bad for you, or like how did you manage your headspace back then after interviews?
Well, after interviews, it was there was nothing really that I could actually do. So I tried to divert my mind, but again, me being a human being, it just kept on going towards how the result was going to be, even though that is something that was not in my hands. So what I used to do was watch a lot of movies, watch a lot of TV shows, try to keep my mind occupied by going for pickleball, going for other sports, and that was something that kind of helped me. But again, when the results started coming in from 9:30 till 6:30, I was glued on my laptop, even though I had my working hours going on. So I would check Reddit, WhatsApp, and mail at least thrice in 1 hour.
Okay, and when did you come across Rodha? Like you said, it was YouTube,
Yeah.
but was there any specific, say, VARC or any strategy video that stuck with you?
I came across again, like I said, while trying to get any understanding on VARC questions, trying to find shortcuts, trying to find different strategies. So I just went on YouTube and typed in cat VARC strategies, and like thankfully Rodha's videos came across. So again, I've watched a lot of videos because with my meals, with my breakfast, lunch, and dinner, instead of watching Netflix, I was watching Rodha videos or some other cat prep videos. So there wasn't any particular videos that I would mention because each and every single one of the videos actually helped me a lot. And again, the different strategies that they gave about that the source gave about summarizing how to eliminate the options. I think that was something that kind of stuck with me because earlier I was just trying to figure out the correct option, but by going with that logic of this cannot be the answer, so let's eliminate this. This cannot be the answer, so let's eliminate this. It kind of made my preparation strategy a lot easier and a lot more efficient. So that is one part that I would like to actually call about on.
And coming to a question, which is, I guess, my favorite one, which I think I'm asking each and every person who's coming out here, that if Rudha were a friend to you, what kind of friend would it be?
I think it would be an engineer friend who teaches you everything efficiently just one day before the exam, because I started my journey very late on, and Rodha was a friend who kind of gave me hope that I can still perform good in VARC. Because again, I was very confident about DILR and quant, and just wanted so in my mind I just wanted to clear the 90 percentile for VRC, but thankfully I got 94.84, and it wouldn't have been possible without those strategy videos that I binge watched, to be more honest.
I think it really sounded like a very perfect analogy, like engineer friend who teaches you everything before examination. That's probably every cat aspirant's dream friend or dream dost, I would say.
Yes, yes, of course.
So, for everyone listening out there, late start, self study, low marks, it doesn't matter. All you need is your version of a prep playbook. Rodha ho ya YouTube, the right guidance at the right time can be a total game changer. So, alright, Sauhard, let's break the momentum a bit. Time for some rapid fire. This or that. No thinking, but feel se answer dena. है. Right?
Yes,
So, mock tests or previous year papers?
previous year papers.
DILR sets in the morning or late night solving?
In the morning.
Okay. Catastrophic mock or a boring 99 percentile mock?
Boring 99 percentile more.
Okay. Office meetings or cat prep videos during lunch?
Cat prep videos during lunch.
All right. The last one is, say, since you are joining IIM Kozhikode, so IIM Kozhikode की campus life या फिर IIM Kozhikode का placement brochure?
I think I would prefer campus life because it's my first time stepping out into a hostel environment. So that is something that I'm quite looking forward to.
That's great, Sohad. I think you've spoken like a person with priorities, right? So that was fun. Clearly, our man has his DILR sets and memes sorted. So let's Sohad, let's bust some myths now, because not everything on cat YouTube is a gospel truth, right?
Yes,
So
yes, of course.
correct. So let's just bust some of them. I'll give a statement or myth. You just tell me whether it's true or false. Right? Just
Yeah.
give your take. Right? So first myth that we have is that you must attempt 30 plus marks to get a 99 plus percentile.
I think that is definitely a myth because while mocks do help, it can also take a hit on your confidence if you don't start at the right time. And I personally know a lot of people who did not give any mocks and still scored 99 plus percentile. So it kind of depends on how your entire life journey has been. because I'm someone who prepared for different aptitude exams throughout college. He gave a lot of placement tests, which were again revolved on aptitude tests. So that kind of started my journey back then, not just in October of 2024. So it all depends. So but if you're someone who is just starting out, who has never prepared for any aptitude test or any competitive exam, then I guess in that case, yes, 30 plus marks would be a lot more beneficial, but not mandatory.
Okay, next one we have is you need a group or peer circle for motivation.
I think it depends on the person who is preparing. So it's definitely not a myth, or it's definitely not something that you should be doing. But again, it all depends on the person you are. If you're someone who gets motivated by yourself, then you definitely don't need a peer group. But if you're someone who faces burnout even just 1 or 2 weeks into your prep, then of course having a peer group to hold you accountable, to motivate you, is definitely going to help you a lot. But again, that is not mandatory. You can find that motivation from yourself, from your goals, from your mentors, from your teachers. Like if you're taking any coaching, they can be the source of motivation that you can look up to.
That's true. That's true. Next one that we have is that cat is not for people with jobs. It needs full time focus.
Again, I would say that is definitely a myth, because I'm someone who gave it with a job, and a lot of people, a lot of colleges actually prefer people with work ex to join them. So of course, having a job makes it difficult because you have to manage two things and a lot of things at home also with your cat prep. But that also helps you in kind of staying motivated, because if you have 24 like again, if I'm spending 10 hours a day at office, I know that I have to utilize my remaining time efficiently to make the most out of it for scoring, let's say, my target percentile. But if I have those 10 hours free, I might get lethargic and just say I have time where I'll do it at my own pace, and that kind of would actually make it more harmful than beneficial. So if you're someone who is working, then I wouldn't suggest for you to leave the job and then do the cat prep. So try to manage both cat prep and job, and of course take leaves whenever you can, wherever you can, especially 1 week before the exam.
Okay. So next one we have is I think a bit personal to you also, and I think a lot of people, lot of aspirants out there might also resonate with the same. It's that breakups can ruin your cat preparation.
I think they can actually help with your cat preparation because it kind of fuels in as a motivation. Plus, again, the time that you would be spending talking to your girlfriend could be utilized in solving a mock or solving other sets, or even just chilling to take your mind off things.
No, that's really true. While we do not wish anyone to get a breakup during their cat preparation journey, but yeah, of course, if it does happen, of course, it should not, it would not ruin your cat preparation. The last one we have.
Yes, yes, please. Before that, based on this podcast, please don't break up with your girlfriend or boyfriend. On my advice.
That's true. That's true. And the last one we have for today is that you'll know how your cat went the moment you walk out.
I think if you have been, if I think that is something that is true as well as false, because again, for some VARC questions, I think it's a bit debatable that two of the two options which could be the answer. So what you have marked, you might think that is the answer, but that might not be the answer, or it could be vice versa. But for DILR and quant, I think you would get a decent idea if you have given if you have given CAT previously or solved any other mock. So you would get an idea that okay, this is where my score is going to lie.
Thank you, Sahad, for being very honest with all these myths. So, guys, a breakup didn't ruin it. Skipping mocks didn't ruin it. Skipping RCs didn't ruin it. So, clearly, no rule book is absolute. What matters is your journey and your headspace. So, Sahad, let's move to our last segment before we sign off. Imagine a version of you from 8 months ago, still unsure about cat, stuck in office deadlines. So, what would you whisper to him?
I think the first and foremost thing that I would whisper to him is that to just believe in the process and to believe in yourself, because I think self confidence is the key to having a confident CAT exam and a good D day. Because if you're not self confident, everything that can go wrong will go wrong, and you would just derail your entire exam because of that. Another thing that I would actually advise him to do is to solve RCs from then and there onwards, or at least start reading the newspaper or some other article that can actually benefit him while solving the RCs, and not just aim for the 95 percentile, but actually a 99 percentile in VARC.
And for aspirants out there, let's say with a job or no prep group or maybe even a heartbreak, what's your final piece of wisdom for them?
Again, I would say that just focus on solving as many questions, as many practices that you can do to stay on a consistent basis. It need not be a mock or it need not be a sectional exam that you're taking. Just get into the habit of solving questions on a daily basis. That can be a lot helpful for you. And especially 1 month before the exam, when the entire, like, not the entire, but most of the people face a burnout, that is somewhere that is the time that you should be actually maximizing your outputs and maximizing your efforts that you're putting into the exam. So that is the key moment that separates, let's say, 98.5 percentile from, let's say, 95 percentile.
Okay, I think Sahad, your journey is very raw, very honest, and full of wisdom. Like from solo prep to IIM Kozhikode, you have owned your story, and that's what truly matters. So thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much, Ananya. Thank you so much to the Rodha group for giving me this opportunity. I don't think without the strategy videos on how to solve VRC sets and how to solve some of the DILR sets, I don't think I would be in this position to give this podcast. Rather, I would be on the opposite end, listening to other podcasts and trying to see where I went wrong. So I think those videos really helped a lot, and thank you again for giving me this platform where a lot of other people who might be in my similar shoes can actually learn from my mistakes, or actually can take some guidance from the good things that I did for my cat prep, and they can actually implement it for their own journey.
Thanks a lot, Sauhard. So, guys, that was Sauhard Choudhary. If you liked his story, don't forget to share this one with all your prep buddies. And if Rodha played even a tiny part in your journey, drop it in the comments. Who knows? You might be our next guest. So, until next time, stay curious, stay inspired, and remember, it's never too late to turn the tide. Goodbye.